than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door. It's the Richard Wilmore Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Wilmore.
Good morning, Kevin.
Hi.
We're gonna. The fun part
we might
about
need a
live TV
redo
is
on that.
Anything can happen. No, it's okay. We'll pretend that that's how it was supposed to be, and we'll move on.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter. How are you?
Just a long shot of me. That was a great introduction to you.
It was good. I'm gonna screenshot that and use that for your next appearance here, and that's gonna be your photo.
Okay, that's perfect.
Great. Tell everybody why you're here.
I'm here to tell you about the 2021 Jossie Awards and the Las Casas Foundation.
Yes.
So, if you've attended a Jossie Awards, I guess.
I don't think I have.
Okay, it's an incredible program. So every year we give away over $100,000 to performing arts kids in high school. And it used to be only for seniors, but now it's for all 4 grades, so freshmen through seniors. And we have 25 finalists that come out of a pool. We have originally, about 120 kids that audition and in the prelims. And we picked 25 finalists, and they come from over 40 schools in the area, 40 high schools, which before we started this, I was not even aware that we had 40 high schools in the area.
I just learned that now.
But the great thing is we have kids that participate all the way as far away as El Paso, Laredo, Corpus Christi. So it's all over Texas. It's really an amazing program. And they compete in the areas of singing, acting, dancing. And then we have 2 winners that come from the categories of Best Lead Female and Best Lead Male in their high school musical. Wow. And then the winners from those 2 categories we send to New York, and they participate in the National High School Awards called the Jimmy Awards. And they perform on the Minskoff stage where Lion King normally performs in New York. And then they can win a scholarship to NYU.
Oh my
so
gosh.
It's an amazing program.
Wow, what an opportunity. How did this come about?
It came about because the Las Casas, is that your cat?
Yes. Would you like her? You can have her.
I saw her in the last show. She's kind of a big star now.
She's everywhere. Yes, she should have her on Instagram.
So this came about because Las Casas was formed in 1989 to save the Majestic Theater and the Empire Theater, which is now called the Charlene McCombs Empire Theater. And we did a phenomenal job. I was just barely out of high school when they began in '89. And once they had completed that mission of saving and revitalizing these theaters, we didn't really have too much on our plates to do. So we came up with the idea of starting this program, a scholarship program and educational programs as well. And so we kind of molded around in our heads for about 3 years. And finally, we just took a leap and we started our first year. And it was kind of cute because our first year, we had absolutely no other programs in the country to look to get ideas from. And we didn't know how much we should give away. So we just came up with a round number of $60,000. Well, it turned out that even at $60,000, we were giving away more than any other program in the nation. Wow. in a program like this, where it's a live performance scholarship program. And so we steadily grew it over the last, I think this was our 13th year. And we're up to, we give over $110,000. And it's a very special program. One of the best things about it, I think, is that we've influenced other similar programs to grow based on the amount that we've been giving out. It's been nice to see that we're, coming from San Antonio. It's nice to go to New York and think that we're influencing other parts of the country in the arts.
Is it in person or is it virtual this year?
It's virtual.
Okay.
So
cool.
as of last year, we had to do a quick pivot because the show is in May and the world went dark in March. And so we had March, April, May. We had about 2 months to switch everything around. And we worked with Jacelyn Blanchard and Blanchard Creative Group. She's basically our producer. And it's really interesting. It has been very interesting to see how quickly and how well we've been able to pivot, because we work with choreographers, acting coaches, singing coaches, and all this, but they're all in New York. So we had to figure out a way very quickly on the fly to make this all virtual. And you probably haven't seen the last year's, but it's available on our website at lascasasfoundation.org. And it was such a success last year. It was so great. And the really fun thing is that we had a strange, fortunate outcome, and that was that people all over the world got to see our program for the first time, because it's always been live. So it was only the people that could attend the show. So we had people from Australia and London and everywhere that could finally watch our show. So I thought that was a neat fallout from it.
I feel like that's kind of, I've said that too with the nonprofit that I do, that I work for, that the silver lining is sort of you're able to reach more people this way. And it's something that we probably all should have been doing a long time ago, but never had the time to figure out. And then we were forced to, and I don't think it's a bad thing at all. How can people best support Las Casas Foundation?
Well, the best way is to go to our website, or, I see our website is there, lascasasfoundation.org. And we also have a Jossie Awards evening. So if you go to our website, you can look that up, and it comes with a delivery of food and wine that comes from Clementine over in Castle Hills, the restaurant there. And we'll deliver that to your door if you want to support us financially. And otherwise, you can just donate in any help in any way.
And we have one of the finalists for acting today. I'm going to bring Christina out so you all can meet her.
Hi.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell everybody what it means to be nominated.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. It's so exciting. I'm basically getting to interact with like 24 other kids from like all over the city, all over the state, I guess. And I get to just do what I love for so many more people. It's like the biggest outreach that I've ever done, me personally. So
what grade are you in?
I'm a senior. I'm 18 years old.
Are you graduating this year, like coming up?
Yes, I'm graduating on the 30th. So.
And what's the plan after that?
I will be going to Marymount Manhattan College for a BFA in acting.
Yes.
So the scholarship program is everything to me.
I bet. And I hope that whenever you're in a production, that this is a show you come to promote it on.
Oh.
I hope. Reach out and make sure that you're on here to talk about whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to put up a graphic for Sunday's event. The website is on there, lascasasfoundation.org. It's at 6 o'clock. I'm assuming people can still go and order their virtual tickets?
Yes. Actually, you don't even have to order tickets. You can just watch a show. So the link will be up, and just show up and click on it. And I have to point out something. I was told that Christina looks like and sounds like Melissa Villaseñor from Saturday Night Live.
Oh my gosh, totally, yes.
And she totally does. Oh my God. And I was so excited to see her and listen to her because I love Melissa. And so
I've never been told that before.
That's so true.
But it's true.
I wish I would have put up a photo had I known. I'll look one up later.
I do love her.
Yeah.
I do love her. So that's thank you.
You can play her sister in some movie coming up.
Put me in. I'm in.
All right,
Put me in.
You heard it here first, everyone. Well, Kevin and Christina, thank you both so much for jumping on this morning.
Thank
you so much for having us.
Of course. Make sure you go to lascasasfoundation.org and support them and join them on Sunday. All right. Hey, guess what? I'm so excited. Ashley Amber is here today. And I have been waiting for this day for a long time. And you know I love to start every day with music. And she is going to perform for us. This is her new single, Those Nights. And she is, just get ready. Get ready. And then also you'll go right to Spotify and iTunes and all the things and download all of her stuff. But take a look at this, and then we will be back to talk to Ashley right after this.
It's one of those nights, tell your boys that you're not feeling it tonight. It's one of those nights, I'll tell my girls that my mom showed up at 5. It's one of those nights, just come by, pick up my favorite bottle of wine. It's one of those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights, yeah. So leave your shoes at the front door. Don't worry about that ego, don't need any more. I wanna see the side that holds me and never lets me go. Cause it's one of those nights, we'll be making love to sunrise, doing shot for shot until the bottle's dry, laughing about anything and everything for hours at a time. Cause it's one of those nights when you tell me all your secrets, and I promise that I'll always keep it. You put my hand in your hand, we'll do it again, yeah. We'll do it again. Those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights. It's one of those nights. Just tell your boss that you can't make it in today. It's one of those nights, I'll tell my boss to forward all my calls. It's one of those nights, just come by, I'm wearing your favorite t-shirt. It's one of those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights, yeah. So leave your shoes at the front door. Don't worry about that ego, don't need any more. I wanna see the side that holds me and never lets me go. Cause it's one of those nights, we'll be making love to sunrise, doing shot for shot until the bottle's dry, laughing about anything and everything for hours at a time. Cause it's one of those nights when you tell me all your secrets, and I promise that I'll always keep it. You put my hand in your hand, we'll do it again, yeah. We'll do it again. Those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights. It's one of those nights, we'll be making love to sunrise, doing shot for shot until the bottle's dry. You put my hand in your hand, we'll do it again, yeah. Cause it's one of those nights, we'll be making love till sunrise, doing shot for shot until the bottle's dry, laughing about anything and everything for hours at a time. Cause it's one of those nights when you tell me all your secrets, and I promise that I'll always keep it. You put my hand in your hand, we'll do it again, yeah. We'll do it again. Those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights, yeah. It's one of those nights. Cause it's one of those nights.
Foosballs. Funny name, serious plant power, healthy whole food goodness in one single bite. Wineria SA. Let's enjoy some great vino together. Let's do a virtual wine tasting, enjoy exclusive artisan wines, and join the club. Neon Castaway. Handmade accessories for a colorful life. Teenus. Handcrafted, farm to cup, organic, quality. The Classic Theater, creating excellent theater in San Antonio, Texas that is relevant, diverse, entertaining, and transformative.
Oh my gosh, we're back with Ashley Amber. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm super. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just enjoying this Monday morning here in Las Vegas.
I
It's a bit
love
early
it.
for me.
It is, which is yes, and that live performance was amazing. And a quick costume change. What does it feel like to like listen to your own music?
Sometimes it's a bit weird. Like just now, I was just like trying to like do everything to avoid listening to myself.
Do you mute yourself or do you take it in?
No, I take it in. I think, us as artists and performers, I think it's important to, watch ourselves on camera and listen to like live recordings and things like that, because it's a really great opportunity to give yourself notes and to improve and things like that. And, I've been doing this for so long that I'm used to what I sound like now. But I do remember the very first time I heard myself back on a studio recording.
Ooh.
And I was like, wait, is that me? Like, that's not what I sound like. And I probably listened to it like, I don't know, probably like 100 times, like straight, because I was just like, this is not me. I was just so proud. And, but now I'm just like, oh yeah, that sounds like me. Okay, cool. We're good.
that was good. Next. You should be proud of yourself. You sound amazing.
Thank you.
How long have you been creating and music? How long have you been singing?
I started singing when I was 6. It was actually my dad who told me I could sing. I was singing in the backseat of our car, and I was singing along to the radio, just doing what 6-year-olds do.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad turned the radio off, and I was just singing along, just in my own world, just, jamming. And I don't know, like 30 seconds or maybe 45 seconds or whatever, he kind of like looked in the, rearview mirror, and he was like, did you know you could sing? And I was like, yeah. And then kind of from that moment on is really, I guess, when I started my journey. But it wasn't until probably high school that I was really like, this is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. Like, I'm going to be a singer. I'm not going to do anything else. Because up until then, I was an athlete. I was really into sports, really into other things. And I was also the girl who sang. But when I got to high school, it was really like, no, this is what she's gonna do. She's gonna be famous. She's gonna do this. And
yes.
So yeah, so it's been a long time.
I'm so thankful to have you on. When we booked you, I was like listening to you, and I was telling everybody, I was like, it's just, like I was so excited. And you have such a great line. This is so random, but I love your line of merchandise, and I need it to come out because I love your shirts and your hat. And I will be ordering a mug because I love coffee mugs. So I want one of those. Are you in Vegas performing or just for fun?
So I actually bought a house here in Vegas in 2019. And so I'm actually just here hanging out right now because Vegas is still kind of on lockdown. Mm-hmm. But I travel once a month. I'm in Nashville. Okay. So I was there at the end of last month, beginning of this month, and then I go back at the very end of this month, beginning of next month. So yeah, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, and you're one of Nashville's artists to watch in 2021.
Yeah, I know, it's so crazy. When we embarked, my team and I embarked on this journey, it was in 2019 actually when I officially met my producer. And I made things official with my manager, even though I had known him for 2 years prior to that. But yeah, to say that we really just embarked on this journey together in 2019 and to already have this incredible success that we're having, and now to be partnered up with my incredible PR team at Core and Burning Ground Entertainment, like it's just, sometimes I'm like, is this real?
Yeah, I was going to say,
is this real life?
I mean, 2019 wasn't that long ago. You have to be pinching yourself sometimes, right?
Yeah, and especially, last year and this past year and then some has been, very difficult on the arts and entertainment. And I have a huge musical theater background, so I was enjoying the last interview because I have a huge musical theater background. And it's just been hard on entertainment in general for those of us who haven't been able to be on stage. So to say that I took a really big negative and was able to turn it into some positives.
Mhm.
I'm just really proud of that, and just really proud of what my team and I have been able to accomplish with the limitations and restrictions that we have had during COVID. So,
Do you have any plans this year of going out and touring or
yes,
anything?
absolutely. Yeah. So it looks like I'm going to be hitting the road again at the end of July.
Ooh.
So I'm very, very excited. I'll be announcing dates and stuff really soon. Obviously, kind of just waiting to make sure it's 100% official, because,
Mhm.
you know, they like to be like, hey, yeah, we're going to do this. And then they like to cancel it like
Yeah.
a couple weeks later. So, but hopefully with, you know, more people being vaccinated and, you know, numbers slowly going down and people wanting to get back open and wanting to practice, you know, these safety measures and all this stuff, I'm really hoping that we can officially get back on the road.
I'm hoping some Texas dates.
Absolutely. I love
good.
Texas.
Okay, I'm just saying, San Antonio might be a stop for you. That's all. I'm just throwing that out there.
You know, it's in the universe, so
Okay,
I
good.
believe.
We're putting it out there. How would you describe your music?
My music is it's country. It's country vogue. That's what we call it. That's what I call it. But country vogue isn't necessarily a style of music. It's more of a lifestyle. Just being a bit edgier, being a bit you know, outside of the country norm, those country girl next door stereotypes. But my music, it's country, it's pop, it's got a little bit of R&B, and it's just fun. Country music, what I fell in love with it as a kid was, it was because of the stories. It was because it was relatable. It was because it was, hey, like, I do that in my everyday life, or yeah, like, hey, I can envision this song, because country is a very literal genre of music, and it's just very real and very honest, and that's what my music is. All of the songs that I write come from personal experience, and I just like to write from a fun place. You know, we've been through a lot, especially in this past year, and you know, life can be really difficult in general. So I think it's important to have fun with music, and to allow people that escape from reality, and to have fun, which is why the arts, and which is why live performance is so important, because that's exactly what it does.
It's truly the thing I miss the most is live theater, live concerts. Like, I go to concerts of people I don't even know just to like feel that energy with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so fun to me, and I miss it so much. So maybe 2021, the first concert I'll be back at is an Ashley Amber concert. No big deal.
Hey.
You have a new single coming out on the 21st of May.
I do have a new single coming out. I am so excited, you guys. This new single is called Open. And I actually wrote this. I wrote this in Nashville. I was meant to have a writing session, but it got canceled because, you know, people were, it was back towards the beginning of the pandemic, like not towards the beginning, a few months in. And so we just decided to cancel it because they weren't really feeling well. And anyways, there's this open sign on the wall in my Airbnb that I was staying at. And I just kept looking at it, and I was like, I don't know, I think that's a song title. I think that might be a song. And yeah, I was in the mood to write because I'd already, like, you know, planned for it in my head that I was going to write a song tonight. And so despite not having a co-writer, I just sat down, and Open is what came out. And
Wow.
I love the song. It's quirky, it's fun. And I just took from the experience of, you know, Richard, I'm sure, have you ever had those moments where you're like, I ain't trying to date nobody. I don't even want to talk. Don't even look at me. Don't look at me.
Yep.
But yet you meet somebody and you are just completely like just engulfed in this, you know, new relationship that's not, it might not necessarily go anywhere, but it's fun, and it's exactly what you need at that moment, right? It's fun. It has you feeling free. It has you singing along in the shower, whatever. And that's what this song really celebrates. It really celebrates how your heart could be very closed off, but it just takes that one moment for you to suddenly feel free and feel open again.
Oh, I love it. What's your favorite part about writing music?
My favorite part is seeing it all come together. So, so when you write, like when I write, most of the time I'm like, is anybody gonna understand what I'm trying to say? Does this even make sense? Like, is this catchy? Is anybody even gonna like this? And then I send it off to my producer, my manager, and they're like, oh my gosh, like those nights, which you guys just heard, that was the very first song I wrote from beginning to end by myself. Yeah. And I wrote that just not even a year ago.
Wow.
And I wrote it and I was like, this is catchy. I think this is good. I mean, I could be biased though, but this is good. And I sent it off to my manager and my producer, and they were like, what the heck? Are you keeping secrets that you're a songwriter? And I was like, well, no, I just haven't really had time to write. I've been so busy touring and doing all this stuff that it hasn't really been my focus until now. And COVID allowed me that space and that freedom to really get back into it. And yeah, they loved it. And then to get to go in the studio and to get to hear the live musicians, get to see them and get to actually see the song come to life. That's my favorite part. So
That
you
gives
write
me
the song.
goosebumps.
Yeah, you write the
Yeah.
song and you're like, oh my gosh, that's great. But then you take it in the studio and then you get to see it come to life and hear it come to life. And that is the most incredible feeling. Like every single time, it's just amazing. And I'm just like, I wrote that.
Yeah.
I'm singing on that. That's me.
Yeah.
And I just love it so much.
And you get to do it. That's how I love that. I love that you get to really do what you've wanted to do since you were 6 years old. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been such a long journey, and I definitely have the non-traditional background of a country artist because, as I mentioned, I have a huge musical theater background, and that was a huge chunk of my life for years. And so, but to be able to finally circle back and be able to do what I've always wanted, and now that I'm writing my own music, which is what I've always wanted, it just goes to show you that just never give up on your dreams, and to know that sometimes you have to take a detour in order to get to where you want to be. And that's okay as long as you make the most of that detour and you learn, and it's still somewhat keeping you towards your goal, but just slightly off. That is okay. And just embrace it and enjoy it.
yeah, you might have to slow down a little bit, but never stop.
Yeah, exactly.
How can people best support you?
So y'all, you can find me on social media. Please come hang out with me, follow me. Ashley Amber, just like it is on the screen, but just remember it's ASHLIE Amber. And just look for the hair. And you're there.
You're there.
But you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Ashley Amber Official. And you can find me at Twitter and YouTube at Ashley Amber, as well as on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, all the music streaming platforms, just Ashley Amber, ASHLIE. And as you mentioned, I do have some new merchandise that's going to be coming out in less than 2 weeks now.
Really?
Yes. We are so excited. It's going to come out on the 28th, which is a week after my single drops open. So definitely follow me on the platforms. I'm going to be doing a ton of giveaways, giving away free merch, all kinds of stuff. So definitely come hang out with me, and we'll get to know each other. I'm very transparent.
I love because it's so it's such a simple design, but it's like it's you. You know what I mean? And they're hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and it's just they look very classic and clean, and I love them. I think you did a great job.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I hope you come back.
I would love to come back. Yeah,
anytime.
thank you.
And if you end up in Texas, I would love to do a live interview.
Oh my gosh,
in person.
yeah.
Can you imagine?
I don't even know what that means anymore.
I don't either. I'll have to figure out how to do that at this point.
Yeah, I think I might need to, get prepped and properly debriefed, and
I might have to put pants on. Ugh.
That too. I have slippers on right now, so
Listen,
don't let the jacket fool you.
No, I hear you. Random question that I thought of when you were talking. What do you think about TikTok? I'm always interested, especially musicians, because there are no rules to music there, as opposed to Facebook and Instagram and stuff.
Right.
You can just kind of do whatever you want.
I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. I think especially some of us older curators, I guess you can say, that are really used to Instagram, where you do a photo shoot and then you just kind of spread them out throughout however long you want to spread them out. And you write a catchy caption and that's it. But like TikTok, I mean, you can't do that on TikTok. You actually have to put some effort. You got to get some decent lighting. You got to, and you have to find your niche too. So I love it because it's funny. So I'll definitely find myself scrolling on TikTok for like 2 hours. I'll be like, how have I watched this many TikTok videos? Like, what is happening? And, but as far as me like creating them myself, I have to like schedule a day. I have to be like, okay, today is going to be a TikTok day. And I really have to stick to it and focus because I just get so distracted because I'm like, oh, this is too hard. How did they do that edit? I don't understand it. The swipe, where's it at? So it's a great platform. A lot of people have been able to explode on it and get so much exposure. And it's a platform that's easy to get exposure. Like Instagram has so many algorithms and so many restrictions, and they make it harder and harder to grow your account and reach out to new fans. So what I love about TikTok is if you have a really good video that just you post at the right place, right time, it has the potential to just go viral, whether or not you have any following, which I think is really cool. I don't know if that's going to continue to be the case on TikTok. I'm sure they'll probably get more and more strict as they realize they can, monetize on the platform, just like, Instagram. But yeah, it's a fun platform. I guess I'm just lazy. I'm like, man, I just got good at taking photos. Now I got to get good at video editing.
Taking videos?
Not fair.
I know. Did you know that on TikTok there's a time limit that they'll kick you off of it if you scroll for too long?
I didn't know that. What's the time limit?
Don't ask how I know that. But after many, many hours in a row, it'll tell you something like, go outside and do something. Like it'll tell you, it'll kind of shame you into, and then it won't let you on for a couple hours. I read somewhere.
That's very fascinating. You know what? I actually like that idea. And you know what? They probably should do it sooner.
They should. It was a lot of hours. It was like my first day on it that I was like scrolling and I was laughing and then all of a sudden, many, many hours later, it was like, don't stop. And I was like, oh.
Just stop.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like they should all do that. All of them should do it.
They should. It should be like after you scroll through 100 photos, like on Instagram, it should be like, girl, go get your life. You are beautiful. Go outside.
Exactly. Unless you're scrolling through our Instagrams, and then take your time and spend as much time.
Take your time. You can spend 2 hours, 3 hours. It's totally fine. Yes. Comment on everything. Save everything.
Share it. All of the
share it. All those things. And but everybody else's platform. Just after like 30, 45 minutes, you should go outside.
I agree. I'll tweet them until then. Ashley,
okay,
Amber, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. You have an amazing day. And by the way, I'm obsessed with your backdrop. Like, I love it. It's so colorful. It reminds me of like we're in The Greatest Show, or you know, we're in something right now.
We don't
I love
know what's happening. We don't.
I don't know, but
what's happening.
It's fantastic.
It's all just to distract. That's what it's here for.
I love it. Well, you have a fantastic day, and it was really nice to meet you.
You too. I will see you in Texas.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Ashley, Amber, everyone. We'll be right back with Amylotta after this.
Foosballs. Funny name, serious plant power. Healthy, whole food goodness in one single bite. Wineria SA. Let's enjoy some great vino together. Let's do a virtual wine tasting, enjoy exclusive artisan wines, and join the club. Neon Castaway. Handmade accessories for a colorful life. Tennis. Handcrafted, farm to cup, organic, quality. The Classic Theater, creating excellent theater in San Antonio, Texas that is relevant, diverse, entertaining, and transformative.
Welcome back, everyone. You know why I love that this show is virtual is because there are people that I have wanted on this show since since the beginning. I started the show in Maryland in 2016, and now I get to because we're virtual, and Amylotta is literally one of those people. So good morning, Amy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm super. How are you?
Doing well.
Amy is no novice to, is that the right word? To television and to interviews. She's everywhere. And if you haven't seen her, you've probably seen things she's created. I was in the virtual audience one day of the Drew Barrymore show, and suddenly your stuff was on there. You're if you've seen Starbucks, I don't know if you have or not. Maybe you haven't. The Gap. I mean, everywhere. You're everywhere.
I'm trying. I just got back from California. I was filming with Hallmark Home and Family for
I
their last
know.
season.
And it's ending. You've been on that show for how many seasons?
That was my third time.
Wow.
I'm really, really disappointed that they're ending it.
I know that it was such like a fun, wholesome, like creative show. I'm so sad that it's going away.
Me too.
No, maybe you just need your own show.
That sounds like a plan.
You could pitch it. I'm telling you. How does that feel? I'm assuming, or maybe you were like me, where you thought that's where I needed to be. But was that the plan when you started out doing
absolutely.
stuff like this? No.
No, I never saw any of it coming. I was a public school teacher and I taught English and Spanish. And then I transitioned at a point to becoming a ballroom dance instructor. So I did ballroom Latin and swing dance. I taught that for several years.
Oh my gosh.
And then when, my son Noah, who's been on the show before,
Yes.
he does his own crafting and baking and all kinds of things. And when he was born, I decided to stay home with him. And so I was looking for some kind of outlet to do grown-up things. And so at the time, he was like 2 years old, and we were looking for St. Patrick's Day crafts to do together. And I came across my first ever craft blog online. I'd never seen anything like it before. It was relatively kind of a new thing. And I thought, we do, Noah and I do all kinds of projects together, and I do grown-up craft projects. I could do something like this, and then I could inspire other moms and women and people who are home and maybe want to do something artistic. So I had literally no idea what I was doing, but I just thought, what do I have to lose? I'm just at home with my little one, and I have all the time in the world when he's napping. And so I just sort of gave it a shot. And at first, I think I had 3 followers, my mom and my best friend and my husband.
Mm-hmm. The important ones. Those are the important ones.
Exactly. And then over time, I started to get noticed by companies. It was a Craft Project Ideas, a Horizon group. They're the company that makes all the craft supplies that you find at Walmart. So the Google Eyes and the pipe cleaners and all those fun things. Their social marketing person found my website and reached out to me and said, hey, could I send you some stuff? And you guys make things with it and just tag us, mention us, link to our website. And I was like, free craft supplies? Cool. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
So that was the first hint that I had that this would ever turn into any kind of job, anything where I would get something in exchange. At that time, it wasn't even money. It was just craft supplies. But over time, as I grew and the website grew and I gained more followers, I started getting partnerships with all kinds of other companies and opportunities, which led to the opportunities for the books, which you've so nicely put up there.
Yes.
That people can see the books. So yeah, and then TV came from that because I had the first book come out and I was trying to promote it. So my publisher helped me to secure some things, and I was reaching out. Like you said, I'm here in Maryland, so I was reaching out to local channels, to WJZ, WBAL, and they were like, okay, we'll talk to you about your book. So that was really the first TV that I did. And then from there, it just kind of went boom.
How did Home and Family come about?
So I have a really great PR girl who works for my publisher. And anytime that a new book comes out, she puts out a press release and asks different shows and different magazines and all kinds of venues if they want to do any kind of coverage. And so 2 years ago, Home and Family were interested and thought that it was a good fit. It actually helped that their animal rescue expert, Larissa Wohl, she had my book, my first one, Hand Lettering for Relaxation, and she had talked about it on the show as one of her favorite things. And they showed some clips of her doing the lettering and some things that she had made. So because of her loving my work, I kind of had an in. So then when my publisher reached out, they were like, okay, yeah,
we've seen that before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What drew you to hand lettering? And I love, are you doing it digitally now?
Both. I do it on paper and I do it on the iPad.
I steal your your like Instagram stuff all the time. I just reposted something the other day because you're so good at it. How did you fall in love with that?
Well, it really first came about several years ago. I think kind of what happened was everything, as you know, is going so digital. Everything was becoming about fonts and graphic design. And the art community kind of went, uh-oh, wait a second. Kids aren't learning cursive in school anymore. And we're going to lose an entire art form of the written word if we don't do something about it. It's the same as why we have chalkboard signs everywhere. When chalkboards were in classrooms, nobody cared. And now all of a sudden we have whiteboards and smartboards. So we brought the chalkboards into our homes because we didn't want to let them go. So I think, that kind of happens as we're afraid of losing something. And so we were afraid of losing the art of the written word. And so artists were like, how can we take calligraphy, something that, kind of intimidates people, it's thought of as sort of old school, and make it modern? So they kind of came up with this modern calligraphy, hand lettering, where it's the basic idea of calligraphy and making art with your words, but it's done with brush pens, and made it a little more accessible for people. So as that was becoming popular, I was just seeing it in my Instagram feed and on Pinterest, and I loved the look of it. I had dabbled in actual calligraphy when I was in high school, and I thought, I really want to learn how to do this. So I just taught myself. I looked at examples online, I looked at tutorials online, and basically just kind of did it over and over and over, practicing. I filled sketchbooks with alphabets. And as I was learning, I had the website already where I was sharing other craft projects. So I started teaching people what I was learning.
Wow.
And because of my teacher background, people were kind of like, oh, I get this. Because at the time, a lot of the tutorials out there were written for artists, for people who already had a background and they knew certain terminology and they had certain tools. But I tried to break it down the same way that I would for students in class, just in its absolutely smallest pieces. And that way it was accessible to anybody who wanted to learn how to do it, which, as it turns out, was a whole lot of people.
A lot of people. 5 books later and 1 translation of a book later.
Yes.
Here we are. All of the books are at the top of your screen, and you can get those on your website, Amazon, probably.
Yes, so I don't actually sell them directly. They are published by Page Street and distributed by Macmillan. So anywhere books are sold, you can get them at Barnes & Noble. Joanne Fabrics has a bunch of them. Hobby Lobby has 2 of them. Amazon has them all. Any online retailer, Target.com, Walmart.com, they have all of them.
Do you love, like, let's say you're at a Joanne Fabrics and you're walking through and you like stumble across your book. Does that like make your heart jump a little bit?
Now I'm kind of used to it, but what I do like to do, at first it absolutely did. It blew me away. And so what I like to do is I just carry a pen in my pocket and I'll like stealth sign it.
Oh.
And so if I'm in a store where they have my books, I just autograph them. I don't tell anybody. And so somebody might just get a surprise.
Right.
When they open their book.
Or they bring it up to the register and they're like, oh my gosh, she came in and signed these. And then the person's like, I don't think so. She was never here.
Yeah, so at Barnes and Noble, they have like a sticker that they'll put on it. And so I do tell them when I'm there.
Okay,
but the other stores, I'm not really sure what their policy is. So I just kind of like sneak it in.
Just do it on this line. I used to work for Borders bookstore. For like 10 years. And that's where I went like, no, you need to tell them. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
Because there'll be a whole thing for you. There'll be stickers and everything. We're going to make something today that I'm very excited about. I have a notebook here. I guess I'm going to show it. Of all the, like, I'm not good at art, but I love like painting and creating stuff. So I got out my notebook and asked Amy if she would teach me how to do something. And she's going to. What are we making today?
So today we're making, this is my Tree of Life canvas, or it could be a family tree. And the reason that I created this little guy is because I just recently did a gallery wall in my living room, and I had these gorgeous photos of the family. We finally got vaccinated. We're all able to get together. So we got together for Passover, and we got these gorgeous pictures, and I was putting them in this gallery wall, and I had this little spot. And I was like, what do I put here? I don't want another photo. And I have a couple of things with word art. I'm like, I just need an image. So because of the family and, I thought a family tree or a tree of life would be really cool. So I just honestly kind of doodled this little guy and was like,
so
well, we'll see
pretty.
how it turned out. And I absolutely ended up loving it. So today I want to show you how easy it is to do, because literally anyone can do this. I think a lot of times with the lettering or with art in general, people get really intimidated because they're like, oh, I can't draw. I don't have this innate talent. But really, if you break it down, art and even letters themselves, they're just basic shapes and lines. So if we can break it down into those pieces, you'll see that it's really not so difficult.
So you don't necessarily need like good penmanship to make the lettering, hand lettering?
You don't. Actually, we break the letters down into these different shapes. It's an oval, it's a downstroke, it's a loop, those kinds of things. So we look at it as putting shapes together, shapes that anyone can create, rather than, let's say, your cursive S.
Interesting. Okay, that's a really good idea. Because I look at that, I have decent penmanship, but I'm also like, oof. But some people might be afraid of it because they're not great at writing. Okay.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, so for our tree of life, you're using your notebook,
Yes.
but we can also do it on canvas, we can do it on wood, you can do it on any kind of surface that you have. I am using a Tombow ABT Pro marker because it's alcohol ink, and so that makes it permanent on my surface. But in your notebook, you can use any kind of markers or pens that you want. You're also going to want a pencil to do your sketching and a good eraser. My favorite is the Tombow Mono, but anything that you have. So the first thing, I've already penciled mine in, so I'm going to be going over it with marker so that you can see it. But you're going to do this in pencil first probably, and then go back over it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the trunk of the tree. So we're just going to make a line that's coming down and going out, and then do the same on the other side. And this is your tree, so it can be as thick as you like. And then we're going to create the roots at the bottom. So to do that, I'm just going to create a couple of little pointed sort of triangular shapes here. And as you know, the roots of a tree are not perfectly shaped, so it doesn't matter what yours look like. Some are going to be thicker than others, some are going to be thinner. I have 5 little pointy roots. You can have however many you want. And so we're just going to sketch that out. And then we're going to come to the top and we're going to give the general idea of where we want our branches to be. So once again, it's your tree, totally up to you how many you want. But for our branches, what we're going to do is we're going to create some spirals. So instead of these being straight sticks and we're trying to create a really realistic looking tree, we're doing these spirals in place of where the branches would be. And we're just going to create them coming up and around. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And these are going to give us the base for the shape of our tree. So again, there's no right or wrong here. We're just creating sort of our outline for what we want our tree to look like.
Okay.
And then once we've done that, we're going to go back in. And you can see I added lots and lots and lots of smaller parts to the branches here because that fills it out more. And so I'm just going to go in and I'm going to add more spirals. And
with the pencil? I should be doing that with the pencil?
You can, or if you're feeling confident about it, you can do the marker. It's
I'm feeling
totally up to
confident.
you.
Here we go.
Yep. You can just try because honestly, you're not going to mess this part up. All we're doing is we're just adding more of these spirals, and these are going to be the little pieces that come off of your branches, your smaller branches. And you can go in if you want with a smaller marker, or you can use the same one. But all we're doing is just adding more and more to fill out our tree. And then if you want this to be a family tree or to represent some of the people in your life, on my little one, you'll see I put 2 little birds. Can you see them there on the branch? I have 2 little birdies right here.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So if you want to, and if you wanted to put them in for kids or grandkids too, you could always do that. So you might want to leave a little empty space if you want to put any birds in your tree. You could also put in leaves or flower buds, anything you like. I chose to make my tree black just because I wanted the silhouette effect of it. But you could do this with a green marker, you could do green and brown, or really, honestly, any color. You could do a rainbow tree if you wanted, anything that makes you happy, because the idea is you're creating art for your own home.
And the like repetitive nature of all of the like, little pieces is so calming.
It really, really is. I find it's interesting because my first book, Hand Lettering for Relaxation, I didn't even come up with the title for that. The publisher did. We were originally going to call it a hand lettered year because I wanted to have 52 different chapters and projects. And it ended up just being too big, too long. We had to take some out. So it didn't make sense to talk about it for a year anymore. So they were like, well, it's really kind of meditative. As the staff had gone through and they were editing it and they were kind of playing with it themselves, they were like, oh, this is so relaxing. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So they decided to call it Hand Lettering for Relaxation. And honestly, throughout the pandemic, one silver lining for me has been that a lot of people have picked up that hobby as something that they can do at home to relax and just find some calm in the midst of this craziness that we're all living in right now. And I think the title helps with that because it promises that it will give you something kind of therapeutic and meditative to do.
And there literally is no way to mess this part up because you're just making random lines. It's really what
Exactly.
you're doing.
Exactly. How's yours looking?
Well, I'll show you. Maybe there is a way to mess it up. I'm not sure.
Oh no, that looks great. Absolutely.
That's
This
where
is
we're at
so
so
much
far.
fun. And you can do it with all kinds of different techniques as well. I mean, we're just doing marker on canvas or wood or paper. And right now, what I'm doing is going back and coloring in the trunk. But I recently, there's a little girl that I know who wanted to do one for her mom for Mother's Day. And so she did a resist thing where she did it on fabric with glue and then did like a tie dye on the fabric and then washed the glue out. And it turned out really, really awesome.
Wow.
So you can do this same technique with whatever materials or supplies you have on hand.
I have oil pastels that I might throw in here because I love oil pastels.
Absolutely. Yep.
You do. I know you have workshops, virtual and in-person workshops. But what do you? So I want to talk about those and what you have coming up this year that people can connect with you on.
Sure. So I've recently started something brand new that I'm very excited about. You can see the logo behind me here. It's the Amylotta Creations Lettering Academy. So you mentioned, in the past, I've done lots of in-person workshops. With the pandemic, obviously, I get a lot less of those. I am going to be live at Pinner's Conference in Salt Lake City in November, but other than that, most things have been virtual. So what I decided to do, because I am doing some things where it's like big national classes, for example, on the 13th, which is this Thursday, I'm doing one through Michael's Stores where we're making a welcome sign. Or a sign, it can say this is us or our family or whatever you like. So you can sign up on the Michael's Stores website. If you go to classes, you can just look by date. It's May 13th and you can sign up totally free, take that class. But what I find is that when folks are looking to start their hand lettering journey, they really are in need of and desiring more one-on-one attention, more than I can give. I had 750 people in the last Michael's class.
Oh my gosh.
So there's just no way for me to actually see what folks are doing and answer their questions. I just kind of have to throw things out there and hope something sticks. So, what Lettering Academy is designed to do is offer different courses at all different levels. I have 101, just the very basics, and 102. It goes to 201, 202. I'm working on a digital lettering class. 301, 302, where you're getting into like laying out a design, how to do that aesthetically. So people can sign up for whatever level best fits where they are in their own lettering journey. And I limit those classes to 10 students. We do it over Zoom. And that way we can really interact. And you also get some of what everyone is missing, which is just that connection with other crafty people, because they get to interact as well. The students do. And we have a Facebook group for alumni so they can follow up with each other after the event and share their work, share photos, ask questions. Just yesterday, somebody shared pictures of cards that she made for her daughters for Mother's Day. And it's just really cool to see where people go after taking the classes. But that's my my latest really big exciting thing is the Lettering Academy, which you can find out about on my website along my header. If you go to amylottacreations.com, one of the menu choices is Lettering Academy, and there's a description for each class, the dates that it's being offered, and then you can sign up right from that page.
I'm obsessed with this tree.
Isn't it amazing?
Yes, I even put little birds in there. My birds
Yeah,
are right here.
I love it. And then you can go back, if you have a white gel pen, you can go back and add little highlights. I added, like, my husband and I got married in 2001, so I did a little heart with an 01. So any kind of little personal details, if you want to put initials in a heart or anything like that, you can make it really your own.
It's so pretty. I love just the black and white. I love that. What I love that everything you do seems so well thought out and so so immersive. Like the fact that you already you have a Facebook group for alumni, and I love how I think your brain works, because you want it to be I love that you try to, there's 700 people, but you want it to be so inclusive and you want it to be so intimate, and I love that, and I appreciate that you are still trying to get everybody to create and be confident in it.
Right. That's, if I boiled down the whole mission of everything that I do, the books, the TV, the website, all of it, it would be to help people discover their own inner creativity and see that they really can create beautiful things. Because I hate it when people put limitations on themselves that they don't need to have. When they say, I'm not creative, I can't make this, I can't do this. When people come to me and they want to buy things that I've made, I don't sell my art. I teach you how to make your own. And so that's my goal, is to give that gift of creativity, because it's changed my life so much. And I just want everyone to be able to experience that. And so that's why my brand newest book, which is coming out in December, that I haven't really even talked about many
This
places.
is breaking news here. You didn't even hear it on Home and Family. You're hearing it here first.
That's right. I did not talk about it there. So it's a guided creativity journal. So it's different than all my other books, because they are workbooks that teach you and walk you through specific projects. But this is not about hand lettering. It's about creativity. It's called Practice Makes Progress, which is what I always tell my students. It doesn't make perfect, because we'll never get there. But practice makes progress. The more you do something, the better you'll become. And so this journal takes you through really just a creative journey, where you're finding whatever ways you like to express yourself, whether it's poetry, music, art, painting, quilting, sewing, sculpting, wood carving, whatever it is. And there's reflections where you'll write things out. There's opportunities for you to create in whatever medium you want to create. You can cut pages out of the book and give them away. You can do all kinds of things with it. And I am so excited about it, because it's such a new and different direction. And it really gets to the heart of why I do what I do.
I don't know you, but I'm so happy for you. And I feel like you have obviously found your calling and your mission in life. And I love that it's not just I'm making art and go buy it. It's let me create with you. And that just adds a whole another layer to the art piece that they're hanging or giving as a gift. They're not just buying it, they're creating it. And I love that.
Thank you.
Amy, we are out of time. I'm now on Apple TV and Roku and Amazon Fire, and we have time limits. So I have to go. But I thank you so much for being here today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Come back anytime. Come back when the book comes out in December, please.
Absolutely.
All right. Amylotta, everyone. That is the show for today. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I gotta go. I have to go. Please get the KP Media app and watch us on all the things. Goodbye, everyone.
It's the Richard Wilmore Show.